the show.
Hey yo, Saturday video. Um, yeah, I wanted to start off with, had a couple shout outs. First, I was gonna shout out TM Nerdy. Uh, yeah, I know him through Biggie's stream and nice guy, and he wrote to me on Instagram, and I don't have a Chonko Comics Instagram yet, so I'm using my personal one. I don't usually like just give it out to everybody, but he wrote to me on Instagram, was asking me about just like my favorite characters and stuff like that, and I just thought he was being friendly, and I was just like, yeah, I like anti-hero kind of guys. I've always like, you know, Punisher and Wolverine, and always liked X-Men, growing up and that kind of stuff, and Ghost Rider and things like that. And he was like, oh, cool, and but I just thought it was a conversation on characters, like, but anyway, he submitted me to this Schaup for Comics, SCHAUP number 4 comics on Instagram. Check it out. Really does really great artwork, and I guess this Schaup for Comics is an artist and does like kind of like likenesses of you know comic creators and that kind of a thing, and did this really cool thing that I'll show you. I'll put it right here in the edit. But yeah, he made this of me, and it it looks exactly like me if I were like Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's awesome. So yeah, shout out both those guys. Thank you, TM, for sending that, and thanks Schaup. Schaup. I know I'm butchering the name. I'm trying to pronounce it. I promise I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Thanks for doing the image. I think it'll be the thumbnail here too. So that's who did it, and that's what it's about. So that's like, yeah, it's a really really cool thing. I really appreciate it. Next, I have an unboxing, CGC. So I submitted this. I think it's 11 books. This is 11 book, 9.8 pre-screen. I sent in last month, and these are more. They're all modern books, and came back, I don't know, relatively quickly. The modern stuff's coming back pretty quickly. It was a huge box though. I didn't bring the box in. I already used the baby knife outside of the small room here, and just pulled in like the kind of clamshell packaging that they have here. The big package. So we're gonna go through them. Here's the cool part is, looking at, there are no rejects. So all of these got a 9/8. Okay, I did it the right way. So they're facing up. Yeah, every one of these was a 9/8 or better. So that's really really cool. Oh yeah, I sent that back. Cool. I'm gonna keep that. And this. And this. And this. So I see what this one is. We'll do that one last. We'll go from like back to front here on these. And so I think all of these except like one or two are going to be sold. They're like, I bought these comics specifically to either press and send them in for 9/8 to hopefully sell them, if they came back in a 9/8, or to there are like a couple that are keepers that are for my personal collection, but most of these are going to be sold. So if you're interested in any of these, if one of these looks cool to you, just let me know. I'll let you know. I mean, if you're a subscriber, I'll work out a deal for you, but they'll be up on eBay either way. But so I bought I bought 4 of the same issue that I saw show up on eBay. Again, sometimes you can get a really good deal on stuff like this. Some of the stuff that sells the best is pop culture stuff. So it's not like maybe what you and I might collect as comic collectors, but what people who collect different pop culture things, or it might be collectors as well, but like Transformers stuff and G.I. Joe stuff and Thundercats and these kind of things tend to sell pretty easily, more easily than some of the like real collectible comics. There are collectible comics in those runs, but one of the things that sell that, from what I understand, sells really well is oh boy, these are really stacked in there. Holy cow! Is video game title Sonic the Hedgehog. So these, I got 4 of these. This Sonic the Hedgehog number 70, this IDW 25th anniversary edition, and these are from San Diego Comic-Con, a convention edition. So these were limited for San Diego Comic-Con, these Sonics. And there are people who there's like an entire Netflix special or Netflix video about Sonic the Hedgehog and people who collect Sonic and Sonic related stuff, Sonic related stories, Sonic related comics. I didn't know about this. I thought it was just like, people who like video games or something, but no, that this is actually a really collectible series. And this one is kind of special because it was limited to San Diego Comic-Con. So I sent in 4. I bought these. It was somebody was selling 4 of these. Yeah, another 9.8, and so on and so on. They like all 4 of those came back as a 9.8. Those are being sold. Those are. I don't care about Sonic the Hedgehog, but other people do, and apparently it's very collectible. So that's kind of a trial run. This was one of these things where someone's like, "Hey, lot of 4 San Diego Comic-Con Sonic the Hedgehog thing," and they were charging like, I don't know, like $16, $17 or something for all 4 of them as like a starting bid, and I was the only one who bid, and I won them, and I put each in the press, just a quick press on all 4 of them, sent them in. All 4 got 9.8s, and all 4, I hope, are going to sell. I looked on eBay, and I saw like there are a couple like raw copies, but I don't see any graded right now, and we'll see what happens. But stuff like this tends to sell. Like I said, other things like Masters of the Universe, that I just sold a Masters of the Universe that I bought for like as a part of a lot. It was like a $10 lot for like 5 comics, but I just sold one for $100 that I just pressed and sent in. So I'm hoping this is similar. I'll pull these other Sonics away here, but. Yeah, 2 other Sonics. Then another one. Another thing that is not in my world are some of these covers that are these comics that are specific for video games. And early this year, and I think even right now, the Marvel Rivals game came out, and there were a lot of covers that they were doing. And there were a few of them that were popular. I guess the Storm one was, and I think Jeff the Shark was one, but the other one, it was Venom. And so I got a copy of this all new Venom number 2, and this is the Marvel Rivals cover. And about a month ago, this was selling, but there weren't any graded, obviously, back then because it had just come out. It's a cool cover, but Marvel Rivals is not something that I really care about. So I bought this specifically to send it in, grade it, and sell it. And we'll see. I mean, I think somebody's going to really want that in a 9.8. And there aren't very many of them because, like I said, it just came out like last month. So we'll see. I'm going to, put it up. And if you're interested in that, if you're a Marvel Rivals fan, you like Venom, again, selling it. Just, say hi. Then another one that recently popular, a lot of variants. You probably saw me. I showed a Batman cover where it was a Joker Akira homage, where he had the kind of like the bloody mallet going to the motorcycle. Well, they did one for Absolute Batman too, and this one's Absolute Batman. With his cape and axe, going to the motorcycle, and this is again, it's a direct homage to Akira. But this is Absolute Batman #1, the third printing, and this is Comics Corner edition. So this was specific for Comics Corner, and this was, I can't remember how many there were of this. I don't know if it's like a one of 500 or something. It's a limited. There are not many of these, so I believe this is going to sell quickly. I'd be tempted to keep that because it's so cool. But I think somebody's gonna want it more than I do. Then another Absolute Batman #1, fourth printing, and this is the Dragata Sketch edition. Where I think it's really cool. It's Virgin Sketch. Yeah, I think someone's gonna like this. This one might not sell. Like some of these later printings in Absolute Batman are not selling. I've had some, but I think that's really really cool. If it doesn't sell, I'll be happy to keep it, or maybe this will become a giveaway at some point. But yeah, cool artwork. But and this is a 1 in 25 variant, so less common one. So. And then one of the great artists working today, another Absolute Batman, #3. You might have seen me. I opened this, signed one of these, but I had another one that I sent in. Came back in '98, but the Delato, Absolute Batman #3. Delato has a big following. I'm one of those people. I think this is amazing. I would be shocked if somebody doesn't buy this. It's not going to go for a lot of money, but I'm imagining this is going to go for probably about $60. So make a little bit on that, but I'm keeping obviously the one that's signed, and this one I bought just to sell it. So again, yes, I know. This is where we have people. I can't stack these. They're not stacking right. Oh yeah. Hold. Please hold. All right. Now they're stacked. And yes, but I know before you say it. Let's go back to it. Chonko. Why are you selling your comic books? Keep your comic books. You're ruining the hobby. Yes. Ruining the hobby. That's me. If you haven't heard me talk about this, I've talked about it many times. But I think that if you are getting a comic book and improving it in some way by pressing, cleaning, pressing, or submitting to CGC or both, I think it's perfectly legitimate to do this and to sell the comics and help support the hobby, your own purchases. I've been doing this for a while, and I would say fairly successful. It's never going to be something where you get like all of your all the hobby covered, but it does help. So anyway, this is what I do. Next is another series where there was a lot of hype, and I got one of the variants. This is Lucky Devils #1 from Image, and it's this is an homage to a Golden Age book, the Starnes variant. It's an homage to Witchcraft #2, and this one was also very limited. I don't remember how limited this was, though. I thought this was limited to... Oh, yeah, it's a Nirvana Comics one. Another Nirvana Comics limited one. There are a few different places that put this one out. But it's a really cool cover. And some people are really into Lucky Devils. I gave it a shot. I didn't really like the story. But I do like this cover an awful lot. So, yeah. I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna see, what people like. If they if they want to buy it, I'll be happy to keep that one if that one doesn't sell. Then is another one that yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up for a lot of money. And if it sells, it sells. And if it doesn't, I'm happy to keep this. But this is from last September. Spawn 356, the Mark Spears Spawn cover. He has another cover coming out, but that is amazing. It's amazing, Mark Spears. Mark Spears, everything he does is awesome. But I am certain someone's going to want this. I don't know if they're going to want it bad enough to pay what I'm going to ask for it. I got to see what I got to compare, see what these have sold for, because I'm sure some have sold. But the way Mark Spears stuff is selling right now, and the fact that it's Spawn, I think someone's gonna really want that. If you didn't watch the other episode I did, I just recently sold the very first cover Mark Spears ever did. That Vampirella cover, I sold it for $400. So there are people who are really, really into Mark Spears, and especially if it's something that's harder to get. Speaking of which, I got one more book, and this one isn't going anywhere. This is not being sold. I don't know. If somebody in the comments was like, hey, Chonko, I'll give you $500. Okay, all right. But otherwise, this is staying in my personal collection. This is Mark Spears Monsters #1, the third printing, the one variant, and this is a Mutant City Comics exclusive. It is, they're calling this the Dracula Bats Virgin cover. Look at that. This is from January. That's amazing. Look at that. Let's hold it a little bit closer so people can kind of see here. I'll try turning that off. See if that helps. A little bit. Nah. Yeah. But yeah, that's bananas. Yeah. I might start changing the back wall up occasionally. Like I'm thinking about doing just like a bunch of Mark Spears on the back here coming up. But that one is not going to be sold again unless somebody made me some absurd offer. I'm not listing it or anything like that, but if somebody's like, how much I need that. I mean, and this one, I think this one's like a 1 or 200 or something too. It's very limited. So it's, I've actually not seen anyone selling that. So I don't know how many are even graded. And I'm certain there are not many of them floating around, because most of the people who get those like real limited variants, they're not getting rid of them. It was already kind of expensive. Like I think I paid like $30 or $40 just for that comic. How rare it was, how limited it was. So I don't intend to sell that. The others, again, like I said, are probably going to be sold. But yeah, just give me a shout if you're interested in any of those, because like I said, this specific submission mostly was to sell these on eBay. With the exception of that one Mark Spears and maybe both Mark Spears. I might keep both of those, but like I said, I'm going to list the Spawn for what I think I would sell it for, rather than, I mean, if I see a bunch of them listed and it's too low, I'm not even going to list it. It's not worth it. But yeah, I just plan on putting it up and seeing if any fish bite. But yeah. Again, those people who find this distasteful, that kind of buying and slabbing and selling comics, or pressing and selling comics, I don't apologize in any way. I think that there is a demand, and I think if you're just doing this to meet the demand, then I think that's good, because if you can flip it for a little bit more money than you have into the comic and the press comic, and you're pressing it yourself or sending it off, and the slabbing amount, which that amount, if you do a 9/8 pre-screen, And if you're doing you're submitting, I'd say more than 10 books, with the shipping and everything, that amount comes down. And if you've had the highest level of membership with CGC, it's not that much. like for these modern books, you're in 20 something bucks per comic. It's probably like $27, $28 per book, along with whatever you purchase the comic for. And yeah, and then if you're gonna then turn around and sell it, potentially for $100 or some of these more. I mean, like a lot of these Mark Spears books, like I said, they sell for a lot of money. I think it's unless you're like really really sold on that book and you definitely want to keep it. Like for that Dracula, I think now's the time. Now's the time to sell it. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, that's all I have for this Saturday video. Again, thanks TM, and yeah, I'll yeah. Any comments, any hate, please leave your complaints at the front desk, and we'll be sure to answer them in the order that they're received. That's all I had for today. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend's going great. I hope all the people in your life are doing well. That's all I have for now, buddies. Have a good one. Bye.